Hello everyone and welcome to T&D&D. I was about to say Magical Tea Party. Technically it is, but you know, it's called T&D&D. I'm a professional, don't worry. Today we're joined by not Laura. Everybody gasp. Thank you, because instead we have James. Hello.
Hello.
Those devout followers of the channel, those like maybe one of them that we have might know this person. You were in Out of the Abyss for
Yes.
the 2 sessions that went on.
Yeah.
Well, technically 3, but we, you know, that we didn't record the first one. Oops. Aha.
Yeah, that was a bit of an oopsie.
Easy mistake to make. Just forget to record it, you know.
Yeah.
But I also talk smack about you all the time on this podcast, so it's great for you to finally come and be talked smack to straight to your face.
Yeah, I've been hearing like all this like stuff like, oh, you made a character who's like doesn't have any motivations, and I'm like, yeah, what of it? Shut up.
You have more. It's just that they really weren't like things that you could push towards until maybe level 15.
Yeah, they're there's a lot of stuff going on with Aerolith that he kind of wants to do, but it's like that doesn't come into play until way later.
Yeah. That's what hiatuses are for, my friends.
Yep.
But today, as per a single comments request, we got a request!
I know. It's amazing.
I think now we can call ourselves famous. That's the rule.
Yeah, you get one request and it's like, well, instantly I'm like incredibly famous.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot the commenter's name. I feel like it was just Dave. I have to check.
Oh, he's checking.
Yeah, I'm gonna personally thank this person, because I'm in charge of answering all the comments. Basically, that's my job. That's the only other thing I do outside of recording, because I know the D&D things. And when people comment 3-page long essays about a spell that I've talked about, Laura isn't qualified to handle that. Yeah, it's just Dave. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
My
Thank
boy
you, Dave.
commented 17 minutes ago. We really did take that into account. We were going to do...
Yeah, you did pick that up fast.
Next time you're on, we'll do the other one that we planned. But, you know,
Okay.
we got to give the... Can we call them fans or just the guy that commented? I don't know. We'll say we got to give...
call them fans. We can call them fans.
I'm going to be humble for now, James. When I hit 100 subscribers, I will start calling them guys.
All right.
You know, the stereotypical thing. But what are we rambling about? We're here to talk about, what is it? Player character deaths, which we've, you know.
We do kind of have a few under our belt, which is unfortunate. Obviously, when a player character dies, it's detrimental to the whole party, including the player whose character has died. But there comes a lot of things when a player character dies. So I don't know. Let's start off with you, Jake. I feel like I've taken over, by the way.
You could take over all you want, man.
But yeah, starting off with you, Jake. Let's talk about Eberron.
Okay, we're going straight there. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Xander, very interesting character. The only evil one that I've made that made sense.
Yep.
I think. And he was very, very powerful in combat, being, you know, a gunslinger, and me just having very good luck.
He had a lot of attacks.
He had maybe 4 a round if he wanted to, but then
Yep.
we were in a lovely forge that got taken over by a bunch of lovely fire newts and a few ogres, and I guess a hag that we fought. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, hag as well.
Yeah, I like that. But it was a pretty cool dungeon, but You know how players really fixate on this one thing and they just really try to do it, even though they could just move along and it's fine. That was the death of Xander.
Yeah.
uh,
I don't fully understand everyone's obsession with trying to jump over a lava pit. Um, sure, it's a cool achievement, but it's like a successful athletic save and that's it. Um, yeah.
so that was the curse of the three nat ones that came up.
Yep.
I
Oh God, it was three nat ones as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there were athletics, acrobatics, and athletics. All both of those skills I am proficient in
Hmm.
as Xander. Um, Basically, the problem started when I'm not blaming anyone for this. It was a collective fuck up from everyone, just in general. It was not going well. Um,
Oh yeah.
it was when our wizard, played by the lovely Rob, Misty stepped to the other
Hmm.
side to go fight things on the other side. That was cool. I don't think they could Misty step back. I don't know if they had the spell slots to do that. Um, but it ended up with them over there, and I can't remember exactly how, but Rich's character, like a paladin cleric, leaped over as well, just with passive strength score because strong as
Yeah,
shit.
because he has like 20 strength, and it was like a 20-foot gap. So I was just like, yeah, you can jump that. The math works out.
But my character was a strength dump because
Hmm.
I wanted to be good at most things, and strength did not qualify. So I'm sitting there with 11, being the only real character who couldn't feasibly get like over without help or a very good roll.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like two on one side, two on the other. Both of us begin like the two parties having been split. You handled split parties pretty well, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
We
Thank you.
both went through the dungeon a bit to see if we could kind of like meet at the end. And me and Ryan's character, Orpos, that I was with, both like heard clanging and were like, maybe not that way, and turned back around. And the other guys did a bit of like investigating, opening doors, looking around, and we both eventually ended up like back at the lava pit with the two parties stood looking at each other on opposite ends. We were like, can I can we get over there? And then Ryan's character just jettisons over, and I'm just there on
Yep.
my own. And then the paladin comes over, and then tries to jump back with me on his back, and oh boy,
Yeah, that was the first of many nat ones.
yeah, it followed Rich's character managing to get out with a levitate spell in clutch, but at the cost of nobody could save me.
Yeah.
So there I was, dying in lava,
Yep.
and
I mean, it was just bad luck on everyone's part. There was you could only really save one person, and it it was like a like last minute
it
decision.
was. I
But
understand the decision because Rich's character hadn't really done much wrong.
that's
They
true. That is true.
they did one bad roll and were actually really helpful in getting everyone there and back, and then they fell, and therefore, boop, he got
Yep.
saved, and I did not because I had been a nuisance for half an hour.
But you know what? That kind of plays into, I think, one of the like more positive sides of player character death, which is when your character dies. Obviously, it's like a detriment, and it kind of like sucks for a good while. But you can come up with a new character, a character that you may love less, a character that you may love more,
That
and I think you've came up with like a pretty cool character now.
I did a 180 and made a chaotic good cleric at the Path of Light. Uh,
Heck yeah.
and I enjoy it more, having more of a moral compass in comparison.
Oh yeah, yeah. Once you've got like that moral compass, it's like, oh, there's my driving force.
Haven't had too much room to play with it so far because we haven't had too many interactions with like morally grey stuff at the moment. It's just been good and bad, which
Yeah, yeah,
I can respect, but Eberron is going to very slowly lean into some very morally grey shit because I know how you work.
yeah. Yeah, I like to start off with like, hey, here's like basics to lead you into it, and now I'm gonna like throw you in with some like morally grey stuff, and you're like, well, now I don't know what to do.
But yeah, I came out with one of my favorite characters I've ever made for it. They're like a karate cleric. I flavor a lot of their spells as them doing freaking karate moves. It's sick.
So cool.
But I've died a lot recently. Sometimes it's abrupt and it sucks, like the Xander thing, where sure, I liked him
Hmm.
and I wanted to keep playing him, but like I've got a better one now. It was still just really awkward. Everyone there's
Yeah.
two types of player. Well, there's a lot more than two types, but the two main types that have come up in my games so far is oh no, they have died, we are upset. And well, that sucks. Let's keep going. Most of them
Yeah.
have been number two because of generally the casual tone of
Mm.
our groups, which is slowly dissolving with Dragon Heist. I feel like if someone were to die in that, it would actually be a big deal in comparison.
Yeah. Like if you take some of the like character deaths that that we've had as your players, that it's like a lot more like, oh no, they're dead. Oh, what this? Oh no. And then if someone was to die in Waterdeep, then there are actual like consequences to that.
Definitely. If I think we said in the last episode or something, if Patch dies, the campaign ends. I don't know if I said that in an episode or just in a
Yeah.
call, but if Patch dies, the game ends.
I think that was in a call that because it was like, oh, Patch is dead. Uh-oh, here's Halam come to like kill us all. Uh-oh.
Not only that, but like I think Laura would just hate D&D because she Patch is the only character she's made that she likes.
Yeah.
But there's certainly like depending on how invested your characters are in the story and how your players are invested in the story and that character, it can have different results.
Yeah.
I find that I like the homebrew campaign I ran for you all till level 15. I felt like I really wasn't doing my best job because it started in a game store and people just came in with a bunch of blank slates that I didn't have much to work with. So I pretty much just pushed them through a story that I wanted to tell. And that was the vibe for the whole campaign, even months after we'd switched to Roll20 and it became a lot more personal. So
Yeah. Like, I mean, to be fair, when I first joined in, there wasn't like people had like cool character concepts and that. I think I can't remember his name, but what was Chris's original character, the one that I didn't get to see?
the one that you had to like pick up the dirt of, Meadowmorn, that was his name.
Metamorn, yeah. I never got to meet Metamorn because Metamorn had literally died this session before I joined. And then when I did join, we were introduced to Goob, which was Chris's other character, and it's like, oh, I'm a frog with a gun, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I like that.
Goob's pretty fun. Goob was a pretty fun concept.
Yeah, Goob is fun. Yeah,
But like half of the party in that game had experienced a character death, and it hadn't really impacted too much. Metamorn dying,
yeah,
I think, made you guys a bit afraid of the Bone Claw. That's about it. Before that faded off five
yeah,
sessions later
yeah.
when you just absolutely annihilated it.
True.
Well, pretty much just the Paladin with a bit of help from the Monk.
Yeah. I mean, from my experience, I think I had two characters die in that one campaign. The first one was Dan. Dan, admittedly, was kind of like a mercy killing because it was my first time playing a wizard, and it hadn't really clicked with me yet. Ever since then, I've kind of been playing Aerolith, and Aerolith is super, super fun to play because I can just do whatever I want with
Hmm.
it. Um, but yeah, I kind of let Dan die because I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna let this dude die. It'll be kind of cool, but I can play with my new character, the beloved Scrout, the Goblin
Yes.
Artificer, and my God, I've had a lot of fun with characters. I think I've the most fun I've had with a character was probably I'd like to say Scrout. Um, but then the infamous incident happened that I don't think you've explained on this channel yet,
It's
Jake. But you brought it up several
it's
times.
honestly because I can't remember every detail of it. All I know was Sprout was flying around and he died. I can't remember exactly how.
I I can tell you exactly how it
Please.
happened. So we had a lot of odds stacked against us. In your eyes, you've been saying it's fair, and in my brain, I'm like, how? How is any of
Because
it fair? My
you
boy
guys weren't
died.
supposed to fight them. There was a negotiation aspect. Like, but then I think someone just said, I just want to kill you. And then it went bad.
Yeah, I don't even think that was
That
me
was
that said that.
that
I
was
think it was
Rich.
someone
That
else.
was Rich. Who then
Yeah,
Laura proceeded to translate for. Her character died as well there.
yeah, that's true. Her character
I
died as well.
generally that was the
Um,
point in the game where I felt like CR was being thrown out of the window, and then I realized, oh, beholders are one of the few monsters who actually adhere to their CR rating late game.
oh
They should
yeah,
have been level 13 for that. Like, beholders are crazy good. Uh,
yeah. Beholders are
and I also put a
insane.
mind flayer with him, which
Yeah,
instantly took control of the rogue for the entire fight. Goob was just
yeah.
running around. Goob had a theme in that campaign of just stabbing his allies constantly because people made him.
Yeah, it was never his fault. It was always like someone had control over him, and it was just this weird sort of situation of like, oh no, he's been controlled again. Looks like we've got to fight our friend for like the 100th time.
But how did Scout die more specifically?
Oh, I remember the events very
Thank God.
specifically. Um, It started off with everyone beginning to run away. We all realized that this was not a fight we could win, and so we had to get out. I had a genius idea. I wanted to cast fly on myself, get around 30 feet up in the air, and leave. Now, there was another thing I could have done, which ever since the incident, I have replayed in my head over and over again to see if I would survive. And I guarantee that I would. I guarantee that if I bonus action disengage, which I can do because I am a goblin, bonus action disengage and then action dashed, I could have gotten out of there completely fine. But my idea was to cast fly on myself, go up about 30 feet, and then move 30 feet out of the way. This is when, unfortunately, the beholder turned around and kind of looked at me, and I fell 30 feet and
Oh
died.
shit, that was how it happened? Was it full
And
damage?
yeah,
Oh,
it was
oh,
full
I feel
damage.
bad.
Full damage killed me.
No, and I think it was a
Yeah.
Minotaur, right, that ended it.
Yeah, I had made one death save, and I was like, you know what? I've passed. I can get out of this. This is I can do this. And then the Minotaur came over and like made me fail two death saves, and I was like, well, all right, cool. And then I failed another one, and I was just like, all right, um, that's fine, I guess.
That was a very interesting encounter. The main reason you didn't die
Oh
sooner
yeah.
was because Scott's character, Stumpy, Barbarian, was like 1v5ing a bunch of Minotaur while like restrained,
Yep.
which was crazy.
That dude had a lot
He,
of health. He had so much
max
health.
constitution and the tough feat and being a freaking, what was it? I think he was a hill dwarf or a mountain dwarf. I can't remember, but crazy good,
Hill Dwarf, I think.
crazy good health.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the death of Sprout, and
Hmm.
also simultaneously the death of Edwin, Laura's first character, which she mentioned in the last episode of having a lot of
Yeah.
love for, but not really feeling like near the end it was like, what am I doing? um,
Oh yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, Edwin was a cool character to be fair. Um, but like obviously, as stated before, with the death of an old character comes the beginnings of a new character, and a lot of people like to try out new stuff. I think I I think there's several classes I've not played in D&D, and at that point I was like, okay, I'm gonna resort to homebrew.
oh yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can sort of conjure up once your character dies, and it means you can try a lot of new things that fit within the world. Maybe when you're later on in the game, you want to try and write a character that already fits into the story. Um, my next character, I can't even remember his name
let's
now.
it's let's not.
Nanik.
Yeah, Nanig. I thought you were about to talk about the one that
Yeah.
you've got ready.
Nanik. Oh, the one I've got ready.
No,
Oh, oh, I don't want to. I don't want
no,
to
not
spoil
we.
that one.
All of the players in that campaign watch this, and they're going to be spoiled
Yeah,
shit. Like,
yeah.
so let's.
I'm not spoiling any of my new characters for you guys. You guys will never know
Fuck you.
until my character leaves. Ha 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 ha.
Wahahaha. But yeah, Nanik, I very much liked him. He was
Yeah,
good.
both Nanik and Lockett played into the story. Lockett was involved with Drycles in some way. He was the big bad evil guy, and
Lich.
yeah, the evil lich dude,
I kill.
and kind of um, it was like a enemy of him, so it kind of played into the story nicely. Narnik was specifically hunting one individual who worked for Drycalls, and then was like, "Well, I guess I'll stick around with you guys because this must be like my greater calling to kill this dude as well." Narnik played into the story, yeah. Sprout didn't really. He was his own sort of entity, but you kind of turn Lucivi, his like contractor, into a villain who worked for Drycles, and that kind of worked because he was just like, "Oh, you like screwed me over. You ruined the contract. I'm gonna try kill you now."
Never got there. Sad times.
Never got there. No.
But I think that those character deaths were opportunities to really just make the game somewhat like more vivid, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I have to thank you for this because you coming into my game has inspired at least two people to try and do voices,
Oh. What
which
could I say? What could I say? I like doing voices.
it's not like imperative, but you coming in and having your first character talk like this,
Oh yeah, my
definitely,
first character taught like this. He's from Somerset.
yeah, definitely helped with confidence. Laura's first voice was basically female kazoo kid,
Yep.
and then from there built into Ryan doing a voice for Benmus, which is a classic, good old
Oh
Scottish, and
yeah.
then also Scott as well, doing a
Yeah.
voice for his dwarf barbarian, which was basically
The way
Shrek.
he the way he introduced it was so funny though, because like this was after the Beholder incident. This was like just after Nani was introduced, and essentially the party were like, "Oh, you're a Healy dude. Go like to this temple and like to where we were beforehand and try and figure out if everyone's dead or not, and if you can save some dude." And I think we spoke to the dead of Sprout and Edwin, and then after that we went over to the Beholder Lair, discovered it was empty, and then found this statue of a dwarf from where he was petrified. And after healing him, he just came out and he was like, "Oh, my back hurts. What's going on here?"
And he hadn't done a voice before that. Everyone like
Yeah,
added a voice to their new character, but his was just halfway through the campaign. Stumpy got a voice.
yeah. I mean, petrification does a lot of stuff to you, and I guess it messes with your accent.
Yeah, but he definitely turned into a bit of a Mike Myers, and just
Yeah,
I very much respect that. He suddenly
yeah, it
became
was
much
fun.
more funny, like in general though. Scott started like whipping out jokes as well, and like in character,
Yeah,
so that was fun.
yeah.
Um, but oh, we're on about player character death. Oops.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
I suppose so. No one's died in Dragon Heist yet. Mwahaha.
Not yet.
It might happen. I don't know. You guys have a pretty good team comp going on right now.
Yeah.
But I have had, I believe, one character death that I felt I liked in comparison to all the other ones.
Wow, only one.
Yeah, only one. Um, I played in a. Well, I'm still technically playing in it, but I've cycled to the next character, you know.
Yeah.
I played a Druid Barbarian, which is the most broken ass combo in the universe because you can rage and be a bear, which was
Oh God,
my
yeah.
which was my combo forever. And I was mega invincible tank and couldn't be killed, or so I
Yeah.
thought, until we basically did a stealth like mission drop in where I was an eagle, and then we all dropped down and casted Featherfall and dropped and like took out a bunch of important people. I casted Spike Growth. All of the cultists died.
Very cool.
The crossbow dude just kept firing right in the face of some dude that I knocked prone. It was really satisfying. And then a portal opened up, and a buttload of fiends started flying out, and like everyone else ran, and I started trying to do so as well, but like I couldn't. I was very stuck.
Uh-oh.
I was very stuck.
Uh-oh.
And there was also someone else stuck with me. So as a bear, me expanding and then like giving, like pushing the enemies back and also pushing my friend back, who then proceeded to be behind me and could leave. I got multi-attacked, and the first one knocked me unconscious, and then two more
Oh
stabs just killed
no.
me.
Oh no.
And like it was interesting because now we have an arch nemesis that we're going to do a side quest to go hunt down, because the party is like, all right,
That's
fuck
cool.
this dude.
Yeah, with player character deaths, like, you have interesting story beats now. Like, um, even with like the death of Sprout and Edwin, like we had this fun little moment where like we could say like a final goodbye to them as like, Nanik sort of tried to talk to the ancient spirits and seek out these individuals and do some mystic stuff. And it was this cool little moment where like we were all just kind of there, just like talking to these characters that we thought we wouldn't be able to talk to anymore. And it was just nice.
Yeah, you had a conversation with yourself.
I had a conversation with myself. That was an interesting development in my D&D experience because I realized like, hey, this is kind of hard, and now I feel bad for you because like when you make two NPCs talk to themselves, it's just like, yes, hello, how are you today? I'm very good, thank you. Oh, that's very good. Yes.
Yeah, I can do that for like 10 seconds, and then it loses the novelty and I start forgetting what the conversation was about, and I just keep talking about random shit until someone like cuts
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
I don't do that often. I don't get two NPCs to talk to each other that much. It's somewhat difficult to do for
Yeah.
most, except obviously Matt Mercer, who I saw like pull off a full-on conversation with two NPCs, and the
Yeah, but
entire
that's
party was
because
just
like
like sat there watching, like respectfully, and they were
yeah.
listening, and like the conversation had cohesion, and I'm like,
But that's because like Matt Mercer's been playing for like a very long time and is like also like empowered by fabulous hair. So
Dude, I
what
used
are
to
you
have
gonna
fabulous
do?
hair and then I chopped it all off. You know that firsthand.
I do know that, and it just upsets me. Whereas I had a fabulous beard and a fabulous mustache, and then they all went away for a measly Halloween costume.
You fool. I mean, you did look fabulous as Bowie, to be fair.
Thank you, most appreciated.
I,
But you know what? Linking it back, the death of a beard means the growth of a new beard. So remember that when your player characters die.
yeah, there's other elements as well. I had one of my characters died and then they got revived, like with a raised dead spell, because the
Yeah, that can happen.
yeah, it can happen, believe it or not. Like people can
Yeah.
come back from the dead. Whoa. Death,
Death doesn't always mean the end.
definitely not, especially in D&D.
Oh yeah.
I have like characters dying can send quite big ripples into the entire story.
Yes.
So that character where my druid, that campaign where my druid barbarian died, they are now therefore very cautious of fiends in general,
Yeah.
and the party works better now because they've realized that even the big mega tank with resistance to most damage and about a pool of 120 hit points he can get back on a short rest can still die. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh, one thing that like I don't think I've ever like that we've never tried, both of us as DMs is trying to bring back a character, but like having to go to a different plane of existence to sort of try and fix that. Like I've heard a lot of people say, if you want to keep a player character from dying, one thing you can do is have them go to um sort of like the ethereal plane, or if you're in Eberron, Mabar, or the other plane of the dead that I can't remember the name of. But if you go to like a sort of undead plane and you're trying to search for the soul of this character, it's like not to like piggyback off Critical Role, the way they ended the campaign was with Grog dying
oh yeah.
for the first campaign, and they turned that into a fun little two-shot where they had to collect Grog's soul and retrieve him in the first one, and in the second one was like, okay, now what? How do we get back home?
Yeah, I I've definitely wanted to try a thing or two like that, which that's
Yeah.
high level shit. So we got to wait a while for that. We're running
Oh yeah,
level
definitely.
5 and level 6 campaigns at the moment. So we've got
Yeah.
a long time to wait, especially with me and my very slow ass level scaling.
Yeah.
But like James said, the death of a beard can what was it?
The death of a beard means the beginnings of growth of it. I did just remember that the death of a character means the start of another one.
They call you Socrates.
I am I am Socrates Jr. Socrates the sequel.
Socrates 2.
Yep, that's me.
I think this has been the longest episode we've done, dialing in at 35 minutes.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's when
yep,
us
this
two
is
get put in a.
level one.
It's when us two get put in a call together. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
we have too much to talk about. It's a concern.
There's a lot to talk about. Even on something as simple as that on the surface seems as simple as play character death. There's a lot of elements to it. So yeah.
Cool. And on that note, thank you for listening to T&D, starring James, who might come again at some point. Who knows?
Yes, thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. It somewhat helps because your input is, I'm not going to say more valuable than Laura's, but you know what I mean.
I wouldn't say that either. I'd be
You
careful,
know what I
Jake.
mean. You know what I mean. Hey Laura.
Yeah,
No, she knows. Like, she DM'd one thing and I died in. Oh shit, I died in that as well.
yeah. Oh God.
The infamous first session and only session death that Laura tried. I feel like that deterred her from DMing a little bit.
Maybe a little. Yeah, maybe a little.
But yeah, cheers for listening. I don't know what we're gonna do next week, but put in the comments
see.
what you wanna listen to, because Laura told me to do that. Don't worry, I'm good at this. You like, comment, subscribe, go watch us on Magical Tea Party on YouTube, because a few of you might be listening to us on like Spotify and not watching our YouTube. How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah. Check out our YouTube or check out the Spotify. Either way, listening is thanks for doing that.
Listening
Yeah.
is thanks for we're great professionals here. James is going to
Yep.
university and studying, music stuff,
and I'm like here with a blanket over my head trying to dampen out the sounds of my flat, and they're still coming through, and I'm like, no.
I mean, there's limits to that. Oh, I just heard a door slam.
Yep, there you go. That was what I'm on about. Like, just every now and then there's a door slam.
And with that, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.